I've got 6 sports, and I want to talk about the winning moments of each of them and which would be the greater feeling. Okay. We got hitting a grand slam in the World Series to win the World Series, a half court buzzer beater to win the NBA Finals, a Hail Mary to win the Super Bowl. We got a long putt to win the Masters. I don't know how much you care about golf.
Golf is
A
cool.
goal in overtime to win the Stanley Cup, or a goal in stoppage time to win the World Cup. I've got my pick, and maybe it's a little biased because I played baseball growing up,
Grand Slam.
but a grand slam in the ninth inning to win the World Series, let's just call it Game 7, man, I don't think there's a greater feeling than that.
I was definitely, what I'm saying, I'm biased to basketball, so it's like I was definitely gonna choose the half court shot in the finals to win the game.
To win
it's
the
kind of
NBA
crazy,
Finals, man.
So
These are just like 1 in a million type scenarios,
exactly,
right? They're not common.
exactly. But I was gonna say, I think all of those things you named, all have like an equal type of excitement to them. But I'll probably have to choose that half court shot. Like that would be crazy to see somebody win a finals with a half court shot.
Yeah.
That would be crazy to see.
A 50-foot putt to win the Masters. I mean, there might be some people that agree with that one because Masters is a once-a-year tournament.
That's hard to do.
It's a lifetime accomplishment, and it's incredibly hard to be a professional golfer for one.
It took me a while to appreciate golf. Like
Yeah.
golf's definitely a sport, So
Yeah, there's a lot of
takes
people who
some
say it
talent.
isn't,
Yeah,
but
a lot of people say it's not a sport, but it takes some talent. It takes, what I'm saying, you have to be not athletic, but you have to be in shape to play
Yeah.
golf.
yeah, and then not only that, but be good at the hand-eye coordination, be able to, because you're by yourself,
Mhm.
right? You're not playing. There's no team other than the caddy helping you hit what shot. You still got to hit the shot. I think the hockey conversation is a little more niche because there's not as many people who play hockey. I mean, I didn't grow up playing hockey. Maybe you did up in the
No,
Northeast.
Never played.
But winning the Stanley Cup in overtime, let's say it's Game 7, that's a big time feeling. But I think the amount of people who would appreciate that is a very small group,
Yeah,
as opposed to like basketball and baseball are worldwide
right.
sports. The one that I think is going to be tough for people to argue against is the World Cup for soccer. If like the World Cup just finished,
Yeah,
if somebody makes a goal in stoppage time in the world to win the World Cup, like that's
big.
big for your
this
country.
past-
That's
yeah.
lifetime.
This past World Cup was kind of great. I'm not a big soccer guy, but
Mhm.
I watched the World Cup this past one. It was kind of amazing to watch. Like
Yeah,
hitting a goal to win the
the World Cup.
World Cup. Yeah, that would be crazy too.
You know what, man? It's because the World Cup is every 4 years, man.
Right.
And it's not like it can be done every year. But to win the World Cup with the stoppage time goal, that's up there too, man.
Mhm.
Because that cements you in the greatest for your country of all time too. So
Yeah,
they're, they're all tough, man.
a whole country to back you up. That's kind of
Maybe
big.
winning a Super Bowl with a Hail Mary is not as exciting as some of those other ones.
It would be nice to watch though,
yeah,
but
no, it's definitely cool to see. But
yeah.
football is already complicated to begin with.
Uh-huh.
I know all the rules, and I still don't understand the rules.
I think leading up to that play would be more exciting to watch than actually that play, but
Yeah,
it would still be an excited play.
All right, tell me if you agree or disagree with this.
Let's do it.
Football players, toughest and strongest. Basketball players, most athletic. Baseball players, most well-rounded. And hardest sport to get good at is golf. And I've asked this question a couple times before in the past, and I have a ton of people, and rightfully so, bring up hockey, boxing, wrestling, soccer, and even rugby. And okay, so those first 4 sports, do you have any disagreements on those?
I don't see no disagreement with those. I see why people bring up those other sports, those more physical sports, what I'm saying? Hockey, rugby, what I'm saying? They'll probably say those are the toughest, what I'm saying? You can literally fight in hockey, so it's like
Yeah, it's allowed and encouraged.
yeah, exactly. So it's like, and it's probably more trucking in hockey than football. So I see why people would say hockey, but for the most part, yeah, you have to be well-rounded in baseball and golf. Most skilled, you said?
Hardest to get good at.
Hardest to get good at. I don't think I can disagree with any of those. And you have to be athletic as hell to play basketball.
Play basketball. But you played other sports other than basketball, right?
Yeah, I played baseball. I've swam, football. So
Do you think basketball of all those is the most like pure athleticism?
Definitely. You got to be able to consistently run and jump. So it's like it will wear down on just a person who doesn't work out a lot or is not that athletic or physical. You got to do a lot, and then when you're playing the 5-on-5, like you're getting bumped. A lot of people like to say basketball is not contact. It's really not contact as much as those other sports, but it's a lot of physical stuff that goes on that can wear you down.
Yeah, yes. You're not intentionally tackling someone, but you are bumping and
exactly.
and fighting for position, and
especially if you're a big. So
yeah. So the argument people make for hockey, which I've kind of come around on that, is that they say hockey is all of those sports but on ice, and I think the reason why I didn't bring it up was, I mean, I didn't grow up playing hockey. I grew up in South Texas. Hockey doesn't exist. I mean, it's not even street hockey. There's like indoor rollerblading, but there's no hockey, right?
Right.
And hockey's such a niche sport, and I didn't play it, so I don't have any experience on it. But
Facts.
when the people that have mentioned it have said that it's football on ice, right? You're skating at 15 to 20 miles an hour, ramming into people with a tiny puck that's flying at maybe just as fast as a baseball, 90 to 100 miles an hour, and you have to worry about not getting your head cut off. And being able to do all that for 3 periods at 20 minutes apiece, I can see why it can be called the toughest and strongest and most athletic, but I don't think the skills in hockey translate to every other sport, right? The hand-eye coordination comes when you catch a puck and throw it, but there's no jumping. There's no, I mean, sprinting. You can sprint while you're on ice, but
it's almost like if you can skate and you can dribble the puck, it's almost like you got the sport down pat, almost like. But
yeah, I know it's hard to get good at.
Hockey
is a tough sport
for sure.
But to be most well-rounded, I don't know, man. And athletic, I mean, it is an athletic sport, but I think toughest, sure. Strongest, I think football players are just stronger than everybody.
They have to be,
no matter what sport it is. Rugby is another one that's, you kind of have to be crazy to play that sport because you ain't got much padding. Maybe you don't lead with your head as much because you don't have protection. But
what do you think about lacrosse?
Lacrosse too, man. That's a good one.
Lacrosse is pretty different. It gets physical out there too, but
yeah,
you got to be kind of skilled. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to run.
Good hand-eye coordination because you got to be able to catch the lacrosse ball.
It can be up there with an athletic
that's true,
sport.
But it's also a niche sport.
Right.
It's not played everywhere.
It's not played a lot.
Yeah, like soccer's international. Soccer's another one where the athleticism is there, but I don't think the skills transfer to everything. And I don't think it's hard to get good at soccer. I think it's hard to be great at soccer, but to learn how to play it, I don't think it's that difficult to learn to play it. It's difficult to learn to play golf because you can have the most athletic people in every sport come over to play golf and you're going to suck. It don't matter if you're a baseball player, hockey, lacrosse, whatever sport you came over, if you've never played golf, you are going to suck.
Golf is definitely the hardest sport to get good at. I would definitely agree with that.
Another one people bring up is wrestling. That every sport, every athlete from any other sport would come in and play wrestling, and they will quickly realize that they are not in shape. And I mean, every sport has its own type of conditioning, right? There's a different conditioning for baseball and basketball and football. The wrestling condition is you have another man or another person weighing you down, holding you from, your willpower. And I think that's the biggest part of wrestling is the ability to control your breathing and the ability to, to obviously fight another person, but the conditioning, the technique. But I don't know too many wrestlers who can play other sports.
Right.
Physicality is there.
They got it.
Yeah.
Like the only sport they can probably be good at is football.
Yeah, maybe football,
but like wrestling definitely takes a lot of conditioning and, being able to, like you said, literally be wrestled around with a person for a certain amount of time. It's a lot that comes with wrestling. I see why people bring that up in the conversation for sure.